There's a reason many professional riders are such big fans of Nutrina's ProForce feeds. Winners align themselves with winners, and they know choosing high-quality nutrition is one of the biggest ways to give their horses a leg up in the arena. ProForce is the only feed on the market with rebound technology that helps your horse recover faster so you can keep winning. All ProForce products also include marine source calcite to support gastric health and help maintain a normal stomach pH. Visit neutrinoworld.com for more information. Fuel the win with ProForce.
I am a young.
And I am
a young
black
equestrian.
Equestrian.
black equestrian.
I'm a young black equestrian.
I am a young black equestrian.
Good morning, YBE fam. Well, it's morning time when this episode was recorded. But hey, howdy, how are y'all? Welcome back to another season of Young Black Equestrians, the podcast. This is our 5th season in 3 years. We have over 80 episodes of conversation, interviews. Some of them were live, talking to Black cowboys, Black equestrians, Black horse people all over the world. And I welcome you back to another season of that. As you can see, it's just me. Caitlin's not here. If you don't already know, she welcomed a baby girl into the world a little over 10 days ago. And she's just going to take a break from YBE for a bit. And so if you haven't already, go to her page, show her some love, send her well wishes as she adjusts to life with a new baby. That being said, this season is going to look a little bit different. Some episodes you might just get me, but we are also going to start having some guest hosts. So they'll be announced as they come, but we know that there has been, some interest in popping on and having conversations about things that you guys, our listeners, are passionate about. So if you are interested in guest hosting, please send us a DM, a PM somewhere on Instagram or on Facebook, or shoot us an email at youngblackequestrianstp@gmail.com and let us know that you are interested in that. So another new thing for this season, we are thankfully sponsored by Nutrina, as you saw at the beginning of this episode. So we're going to have some sponsored episodes. Not all of them are sponsored for this season. So if you are interested in sponsoring an episode, having an ad running, again, email us at youngblackequestrianstp@gmail.com. Y'all, I'm trying to get through the housekeeping. What's on my list? Okay. So we're going to have we're going to have guest hosts, but we're also going to start doing some recaps because y'all, a lot has happened. A lot has happened since we first started this. A lot has happened since we first started interviewing people. Like YBE is literally just doing amazing things all over the place. So we're going to start doing some recaps and checking in with people and seeing where they are and what they're up to, what new things they got going on, and how we can support that. So stay tuned for more of those this season as well. Next thing is that if you are a young Black equestrian and you want to join a community of people that are like you and have similar experiences to you, feel free to join our Facebook group. You should be able to find it from our Facebook page, but it's Young Black Equestrians, the group, and join us there. We're going to start kicking up our fireside chats again. It's getting cold, it's getting chilly, it's bonfire weather, it's fire pit weather, it's hot cocoa and cooking stuff on the fire. Like, fall is my favorite time of year, y'all. Not to say just because it's my birthday. My birthday month is October, but fall is just an amazing weather transition period, like top tier, seriously. So we're going to start having our fireside chats again, but all that information is found in the YBE group only. And we also, wow, I wrote this down, but it just clicked in my brain. We're going to be approaching a year of doing Winter Circle Wednesday in December. What is Winter Circle Wednesday? Well, every Wednesday on Instagram, we go live at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's 5 p.m. Pacific. And we talk about our wins for the week. And this has been an opportunity and a space for us to really connect with each other and see the good things that are happening to each other this week, or to find motivation for a week that maybe is not going right for you. You know, everyone always has something to bring in a Winter Circle Wednesday. And it's acknowledging those good things that have happened to us that prompts more good things to happen to us, right? Law of attraction, manifestation, all that stuff. We acknowledge the good things that are going on in our lives. We acknowledge just being able to make it to another Winter Circle Wednesday, because the world is crazy out here. It's crazy. So feel free to join us on Instagram. Anybody can join. It is not like a YBE exclusive situation, unlike the fireside chats. But it's just an opportunity to connect with this larger equestrian community, and share different horsey updates, different progress updates, life updates, just appreciation. And then we sprinkle a little bit of Salt Bay motivation at the end, so that you know, we can get over the hump and finish out our week strong. So join us on Instagram at 8 on Wednesdays for Winter Circle Wednesday. Next thing, because you have been rocking with us for this long, like, I appreciate you with every fiber of my being. I want you to understand that. Because you've been rocking with us so long, I wanted to do something special for this season. So I'm coming up with a few new merch ideas, especially because hoodie season is coming. That's another reason why I like fall. Sorry, I got excited. But the shop, we have merchandise on our website, youngblackequestrians.com. You can get free shipping on your order with the code season 5. No ebonics. It's just season, SEASON, number 5. And you'll get free shipping on your merchandise in the YBE shop. So head over there after this episode and grab you a sweatshirt, Horses, Hacks, and Homegirls sweatshirt. There's some other sweatshirts on there, but grab you a sweatshirt, grab you a hoodie, and enjoy this fall season with us. This is a thank you to you for listening this long and continuing to be a driving force that motivates us to continue to produce these episodes. And yeah, that is the housekeeping. That is the housekeeping that I have for this season. I wanted to go ahead and get that stuff out of the way, because in this episode, I wanted to share with you my trip to New York to West Point Military Academy. And I used to say, girl, why do you go to West Point Military Academy in the middle of a panoramic? I will let you know right after this message from our sponsors. There's a reason many professional riders are such big fans of Nutrina's ProForce feeds. Winners align themselves with winners, and they know choosing high-quality nutrition is one of the biggest ways to give their horses a leg up in the arena. ProForce is the only feed on the market with rebound technology that helps your horse recover faster so you can keep winning. All ProForce products also include marine source calcite to support gastric health and help maintain a normal stomach pH. Visit nutrinaworld.com for more information. Fuel the win with ProForce. All right. Welcome back. You clocked in. You ready to hear this story? Okay, cool. Ready to tell it. So, early this summer, we were contacted by email to come to this event at West Point. And it was a random email from a random person. And I kind of was like, how do you even know us? And they're like, we've been watching you. We've been looking all over for you. We've been looking for you for years. And I'm like, what? Why? That's weird. But we were invited to come to West Point for this celebration of the unveiling of a new statue commemorating the 9th and 10th Cavalry, the Buffalo Soldiers. And this was going to be held at West Point. And I was like, dang, that'd be cool. So there was conversations about a parade and us bringing our horses up and riding in the parade and all this stuff. And I was like, wait. The way me and my anxiety are set up, I don't think I would survive a trip from North Carolina to New York with my horses in a horse trailer. Like, I just can't do it myself because anxiety is here just talking about it, right? And so we decided not to do that. And then there was conversations about connecting with some people who were already up there or some people who already have horses up there to ride in this parade, and couldn't do that either. And then it got like super official. Like at first it was like an invitation. Yeah, the whole city is going to be so excited, yada, yada, yada. And then it was like, okay, actually the Secretary of State wants to come to the event. So now like the Pentagon's involved, and we have to go through all these official channels and get background checks and all this stuff. And so I was like, okay, well, now this got real. Like at first it was just like, oh, road trip. Now it's like, oh, formal event. Okay, sounds good. So went through all of the online, filling out all the things that they sent. And then, realizing that it was literally the weekend of Caitlin's due date. So she didn't intend on coming. Because again, my anxiety, I'm like, girl, I can't even do this because what am I gonna do if you have a baby? It's gonna be wild. And so I asked Sarah Neer, who is the author of Horse Crazy, about coming, or if she would want to cover it in the media. She is a New York Times journalist. And she was absolutely thrilled, and we connected, and I was able to, really, really hang with her during that trip. And so to learn more about her, we did a Facebook Live on our Facebook page. So you should run over there and hear about that. Horse Crazy, her book, talks about her kind of coming to understand the history of horses and how they played a role in her life, things like that. This trip also afforded me to talk to one of her guiding mentors, whose name is Dr. Blair, who is a Black cowboy who ran the largest Black rodeo in New York in the 70s and 80s. But that's going to be on a different episode, okay? Back to West Point. So flew to New York, rode up to West Point, and had the opportunity to watch the unveiling of this statue. Now, I want you guys to understand that at West Point, there was a plaque that acknowledged the existence of the Buffalo Soldiers. And it's maybe, 2 feet by 3 feet, not very big, but it was on a rock, like a rock large enough to put a plaque on that big, and that was the only acknowledgement. Oh, no, let me correct that. There was a field on West Point that was named the Buffalo Soldiers Field. So it was the field and it was the rock. And so Dr. Andrea, she kind of spearheaded this movement to raise money. They raised over $1 million to produce this statue, or to have it produced, to have a more significant and symbolic representation of the Buffalo Soldiers. And so it's been years in the making for this, years. And maybe I'll get her to come up on the podcast and talk about this entire journey, if she can, military and all. But years in the making, they had this statue created in the likeness of her grandfather, who was a Buffalo Soldier, and had it curated for West Point. So if you go on our Facebook page or our Instagram page, you would have seen, or you can see, some of the pictures of this statue. First of all, it's massive. But not only that, it was created by a Black man named Eddie Dixon. And he's the artist, he's a sculptor, and he was there also to receive his flowers for creating such a masterpiece. And like, when I tell you, you have to go look at those pictures, because that statue is so detailed. I mean, the rippling in the horse's skin, obviously, in performance, in battle mode, in, real, just, pumped up. The detail of the tack, the saddle, the uniform, like all of that is absolutely amazing. And I wonder if he had horse experience, or if he had to do, some real life kind of research and looking at the way horses move and the way horses present themselves when they're kind of in frame and, driving forward, so that he could capture those kinds of that nuance and the shading and the muscles of this animal, because all of that wasn't super clear in the likeness picture. It's a black and white photo from the 70s, 60s. So I just wonder like what additional research he had to do to produce this statue. But he did it. It's absolutely amazing. He lives in the Midwest, I believe, and the actual statue, as it was being brought to West Point, was escorted by the Buffalo Soldiers motorcycle clubs. Now, we know of some Buffalo Soldiers Black cowboy clubs. I'm not sure how much they knew about this or their involvement, but the motorcycle clubs came and showed out. And a lot of them may be veterans, a lot of them, they're truly active clubs. They had their attire, they had their boots, they looked absolutely amazing. And they escorted this statue all the way to New York. And I thought that was absolutely amazing, and clearly shows like the impact and the dedication that Buffalo Soldiers continue to have in 2021. So we get there and we run a little bit late. But it was funny because as soon as we walked in, the band starts playing and we're like, okay, go stand over here. Only slightly embarrassing. But turns out the Secretary of State didn't end up coming. The Afghanistan stuff had just happened and it was like, maybe you got other things to do. I understand, brother. But our Secretary of no, not Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense. Let me correct that. I don't know if I said that earlier, but it's the Secretary of Defense, not the Secretary of State. But he is the first Black male Secretary of Defense. So shout out to him. I don't remember his name, but shout out to that guy. But he had other things to do, so he didn't end up coming. But we got a keynote from another person of leadership in the military, also a Black man. And they sung their songs and they, acknowledged everyone who played a big part in this project. And then they did the unveiling. And so it was absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. It was awesome to meet Dr. Andrea in person. It was awesome to meet Eddie Dixon in person. It was awesome to meet Kevin in person, the one who invited us to this event. Kevin is a businessman out of Texas who went to school with Dr. Andrea, and he is convinced that Texas trail rides are going to upstage North Carolina trail rides. And I just want to see. I want to see. We'll see, right? We'll see. Last time I went to Texas, I wasn't impressed, but I was not around Black people. So I am willing to try anything once or twice. So thank you again, Kevin, for the invite, for the experience, for the connections, all of it. It was absolutely amazing. Being able to be around, these confident, prominent, impactful Black men and women who traveled near and far for this event, who were able to fundraise to put this on and put this together. It was absolutely amazing. They were so happy and so proud. Y'all know I live near Air Force Base, so you have to excuse the military. They do military things. But just being around people who are just, capable of making a difference and doing it at that level, it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And so I hope that we can definitely continue to foster those relationships and, make that impact reach much farther, and especially reach the YBEs, the Black cowboys of the world. Now, it was great to see how much progress had been made, but you don't understand how much progress was made until you understand where they came from. So this was something that was discussed in the keynote. The Buffalo Soldiers were, these different platoons of Black soldiers that, you know, they had to stay in their own, you know, group because the military wasn't segregated during this time. But they continued to outperform during the Civil War. They continued to outperform their white counterparts. And a lot of their work was done on horseback. So between fighting in the Civil War and, you know, boom, great, we won. All right, boom, what's next? They were sent west and a lot of times led Western expansion. Now, you know, we see that as an acknowledgement of the Black cowboy impact on, you know, the growth of this country, because obviously this country was built on the backs of Black men and women, whether they were enslaved or they were out conquering other landscapes for the growth of the US to the West. We know that, but we also acknowledge that that means that they had a hand in the conquering, and we know what that means, of Native tribes. And so someone brought this up on Twitter, like, okay, you know, these guys got a statue, but, you know, obviously they had a hand in the depletion of the Native American population. So when do we take their statue down? And that is a good point. That is a good point, showing how we can be, you know, blinded by wanting to be acknowledged for our impact, even when our impact was to the detriment of someone else. And so that is conversations that we're going to have, you know, in the future, when we look at, you know, take down all the statues of General Lee, put up all these statues of other people, but they also kill people. Granted, we had to figure out what kind of people, but, you know, they also had a hand in the demise of someone. So reckoning with that and saying, okay, what is our stance here? That is important. But in going back to, you know, their actual treatment in the military, they went west and they did all the things. And the military, the US military, was like, these men, they are amazing. They're amazing. Like, there's no one else like them. We need them to train our upcoming cadets at West Point, which is like the most, you know, strenuous, popular, like, you go to West Point, you come out like badass place in the military, right? And so they came back to teach future cadets, future leaders, horsemanship, in the skill of conquering and war on horseback. But like I said before, military wasn't segregated. I mean, the military was still segregated. So when they came back to West Point, they weren't allowed in the dining halls. When they weren't actually teaching, they were doing lawn work and cleaning. They didn't sleep in the same barracks as the other cadets. It was, you know, racist, still segregated, yet they were the teachers. They were the caregivers of the horses. They were these men who had went west and conquered all the things acknowledged by the military. They said they have this value that they can teach to our cadets, but when they came back, you know, it was, I recognize the value that you bring, but I don't recognize your humanity. And, you know, this statue is about recognizing that humanity. It is definitely not the most that the US military could have done. It is definitely not like here in Sky Daddy's year 2021, just now recognizing the humanity of these men. Their plaque was on a rock prior to this. Rock about yay high. I know you can't really tell how high this is, but it's like a 4-foot tall rock. That didn't recognize any humanity. But this statue is a representation of that. The humanity of these men that performed for the growth of our country. Yet, when they came back to provide the value of the experiences they had, they were still treated like regular schmegular old Black men, and in a segregated place. And so the US military definitely, it's problematic, but we can say for all of the work that the people today have put in for the past few years to get this project, funded, created, transported, and unveiled, we are thankful for the opportunity to learn this history, to learn more about our culture as not only Americans, but as Black Americans, as Black equestrians, our connection to horsemanship that obviously has put us in the crosshairs of some of the most powerful people in the world, and taking that experience and having to teach it to white cadets who were still valued as more of a man, more of a person than you were, despite your achievements. It is very important that we acknowledge that and continue the conversation around that. So just wanted to share some of the musings from my trip to West Point. And if you haven't seen the statue, you have to check it out. It's amazing. And I don't know if you can just go to West Point to see it, but it's amazing work, truly. So, all right, y'all. I will see you on the next episode of Young Black Equestrians. Thank you again for rocking it with us for 5 seasons. And we'll continue to bring you, the quality, the conversation, and passion, culture, and lifestyle of the Black horse industry. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Young Black Equestrians. Head over to our Facebook or Instagram pages and let us know what you thought about that episode. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and have the opportunity to be featured in our next episode.